What are your expectations? I think all day long we're going to talk about Jay Powell and what people expect. What are your expectations for what Jay Powell has to say, and then how does the market react?
I think, and I thought this for quite some time, I don't expect any big news out of Jay Powell today. I think, if anything, they're going to hold back any of that good news for the meeting next month, right? Because, look, the markets are hoping for a rate cut in the next meeting. But if, in fact, they don't deliver a rate cut, at least maybe they'll deliver some guidance that'll keep the market floating. I think they're going to reserve that positive sort of guidance for that meeting.
So just to be clear, you think he's going to give some positive guidance, but don't you? It sounds like you also expect him to say he's going to be data dependent. So how is that positive guidance? Because we know there's jobs reports coming up, there's inflation reports coming up, and we also have to keep in mind, we don't talk often about it, the revisions for May and June, they lowered the amount of jobs added by about 250,000 jobs. That's a big number.
Yeah, exactly how he responds to that is really going to temper how the market reacts to him, right? I mean, the theme of this discussion that's happening at Jackson Hole is going to be the labor market, and clearly those numbers were bad, and clearly we've had some even weekly numbers that have shown a little bit of weakness since then. So that might be the only way that he could signal any positivity in the next meeting.
All right. So for a couple days, for like a week or so, or a couple weeks, we saw the markets move higher on a lot of hope and optimism of that 25 basis point cut, and some very slim hope for a 50 basis point cut. Some people were kind of pricing that in as well. Got some data from Ryan Dietrich from Carson Group, another market watcher. So he put out some research that if the Fed waits 5 to 12 months for a cut, since 1970, the first month the market moves down. If they do cut in September, by the way, it's kind of pending on that. If they cut in September, for the first month, the market will go down 1%. For the next year, it's up just about 13%. So if you're somebody who's an investor, you want to put money to work in the market, if you feel confident that there's going to be that cut in September, where would you put money to work?
Well, look, you want to take always want to take a balanced approach based on your risk, right? But the good news is bonds still have respectable yields, and if we're expecting rates to come down in the next 12 months, you're not hurt if you allocate a little bit to fixed income, because you still get some nice return for those. However,
wait, Mark,
yeah,
if there's a cut, you want to be in fixed income?
Well, you're talking about a cut in fixed income, you can have bonds going up, right? So you can realize some capital gains in your fixed income, right? So you can lock in some higher yields here, but if, in fact, we see some cuts and we see yields coming down, you could actually get some return on those bonds.
In all fairness, if there's a cut, I think a lot of people will see the equity market as being a bit sexier, right?
Absolutely. I mean, obviously, the equity market's looking for something like that, but, this does provide you with an opportunity if you don't want that type of risk. If you're looking to take a little bit of risk off the table, there's nothing wrong with allocating a little into fixed income at this time.
What do you make of the rotation in the market? We were highlighting it with momentum cooling off, people looking for income in dividend stocks. We've also seen a rotation in healthcare. What do you make of this rotation, and are there any parts of this rotation that you see for investors that there's a clear opportunity? Is there an opportunity in healthcare? Do you expect that rotation to continue and it move higher? Is there an opportunity in small caps? I mean, give us a sense of where this rotation is creating an opportunity.
Yeah, interesting. Look, we've been wanting that. We've been looking for that opportunity in healthcare for some time. It's a true value opportunity there. Whether it takes off at this point or not, I'm not sure. I think it's a little early for that. Clearly, we'll see a little bit of upside if we do start to see some more rate cuts in small caps, as you suggested. They're highly sensitive to interest rates, at least recently. But I believe, in terms of the momentum, I think this is just a rest. I think we're going to see a resurgence in the momentum stocks coming back pretty soon.
Even if we get a slightly hawkish Jay Powell?
I think, again, things can't just go straight up, even though they feel like they can always just only go up these days. Look, markets have to rest. This is just a little pullback. This is not a larger systemic change in the market.